Hi folks, in this episode of A Drink with the Hurricane, we're going to tackle the subject of how much time should you give a new marketing rep to get established. Cheers. This is A Drink with the Hurricane, the home care sales and marketing talk show that discusses all things growing your home care business. This is an important topic. It's one of those things, and I've talked about it before in the past, but it's something that I have to reiterate again because it's a catch-22. If you don't give the person enough time to get established, they're not going to be successful. On the flip side, if you give them too much time and they're not having success, you could end up wasting a lot of salary, a lot of time, and a lot of heartache and hardship with the wrong person. And I've actually seen this happen before. I've had business owners call me and they'll talk to me about their marketing rep and they're not sure what to do with the rep. The rep's been there for a year. The business really hasn't grown. There's been no difference since bringing this person on. And now, because it's been a year, they have the relationship. Because if you're a marketing rep watching this, you may think to yourself, oh, my boss will let me go, people don't care. A lot of people don't think that business owners care. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah, there's that 5% out there that don't give a crap, but the other 95% are very caring people. No one hires somebody and invests in paying somebody financial resources because they want to fire that person. They hired you or they hired that marketing rep because they believe in them and they trust them to be able to go out and grow the business. And if they keep them around for a year, what ends up happening is they realize this person isn't the right person for the marketing, but what do? They create another position for that person, and then the business becomes unhealthy. And this is something that I don't like to see happen. Why? Because when a business is unhealthy, that means it could go out of business. And if a business closes its doors down and you're providing care for 20 or 30 people, that means 20 or 30 people are going to have to find another agency, go through the whole process over again because the business wasn't able to sustain itself. That's a problem. And I also don't want you to have to lay people off. This is why we're talking about this. So, how much time should you give a marketing rep? Now, I like to say 6 months. It is a 6-month commitment, a 6-month investment. But there are milestones during this 6-month probationary period. 30 days. If you notice any red flags during that first 30 days, pull the plug. And I'm not talking about like a little red flag like the person showed up 15 minutes late. I'm talking about major red flags. I actually had a client in Texas who hired somebody. The person seemed great, went out with a company credit card and was charging up crazy happy hour charges and all that, ran up like a $600 bill in a month for things that weren't really work related, but it was on company time and kind of tried to pass it off. And the owner was like, what do we do with that rep? And I said, you fire that person. They're stealing from you. You can't allow that. That was a red flag. And when did you find it out? Boom, at the 30-day mark. And that's when we let the person go. The second milestone is 90 days. 90 days gives you enough time to see what the person's day-to-day and week-to-week activity is like. 90 days is 12, 13 weeks. By 90 days into it, they should start to have referrals trickle in. Not a lot, but trickle in because it takes time to get established. But you want to see what their work ethic is. If in 90 days you're constantly chasing that person out of the office and they won't go marketing, let the person go. They're not the right person. Marketing people, where do they have to be? They got to be in the field. They really shouldn't spend more than 10 hours a week in the office. There's no reason for it. They're not needed to be in the office. They're hired to be a marketing rep. So if it's a full-time person, which in another topic I always talk about, you don't hire, if you can't afford to hire a full-time marketing rep, don't hire a part-time rep because when are the events going to be? When are the referrals going to come? Yeah, when the rep isn't working. So you hire a full-time rep, but that's beside the point. By 90 days, if you're chasing the person out of the office, if they're not scheduling lunch and learn in services, if they're not getting immediate appointments with people and they're just driving around cold calling, make the decision to let that person go. And I know it sounds cruel. They're not happy either. Think about it from their perspective. I'm a marketing rep. I'm hired to bring in business. 90 days goes by. I'm not getting any lunch and learns. Nobody will talk to me. Nobody will meet with me. I'm probably scared to death. I'm not happy. I'm negative. I'm complaining. So what do you think I'm doing when I'm going about in all my marketing referral sources? I'm probably complaining. I'm probably a negative Nilly. So it's hurting the business, but also because I'm scared to death, I'm worried about getting fired. It's almost like let the person go. This is clearly not the job for them. Let them go find another job. And just a little side note here. I saw this on 2020, great television program. You know, they do all these investigative reports. They did this investigation many years ago on 2020 where they went to a town that was one of those like textile towns, and everybody in the town worked at this plant, this factory. And when the plant and the factory went belly up, basically the whole town died. Everybody moved away or they found other jobs and still lived there. And the thing that was crazy is although everybody worked together, they went back and followed up with them 10 years later, everybody who was working together, and they were happy to work together, and they were sad when the town fell apart and everybody moved away. But when they did this reunion, every single person found a different job in a different industry, doing something that they enjoy even more than working at this textile factory, and they were making more money. And they had a better quality of life. So it's like this company going out of business was actually the best thing to happen for everybody in that town and for the town itself. Even though the building being gone is sad and it looks depressed, everybody was better off because of it. So using that thought, if you have somebody who's not doing good in 90 days and they're sucking wind and they're worried, just let the person go. I promise you, they will find another job. And they'll probably be the right job and they'll be happier and better off because of it. And then finally at the 6-month mark, if you have somebody and they're getting the lunch and learns and they're going out marketing and they're doing all the things that are supposed to be done and it's not coming in, then yeah, you gotta part ways with that person, because if they're not getting it in, you just lost 6 months salary, you lost 6 months of time. And to keep that person in the same thought, they're sweating bullets. There's some negative energy there, and it's not negative, it's worry, but it's the truth of the matter. They'll understand, they'll be okay, they'll get unemployment, they'll find another job, and they'll be okay. And your business will thrive because of it, and they'll eventually thrive because of it. So it's not a negative thing, but I really wanted to spend some time on this. Now, how do you avoid that from happening in the 6 months? Train them. Train them, train them, train them, train them. This is all that we do. We train marketing reps, we train business owners all the time, every single day, 365. I just dream about training people, training people, training people. Oh, it gives me chills because I love helping people. We can help you. You hire your rep. We can even interview them for you if you want. And you get the right rep. You train them from day one. You set them up for success. They're going to be successful. And then your business grows, their confidence grows, you help more people. It is a true win-win-win. So if you haven't signed up for the boot camp, sign up, get the training, go out and blow away the competition.
So folks, I'm Steve Hurricane, and remember,